Have you ever stopped to consider how your own ego shapes your perception of the world? Today, we're diving into the fascinating realm of the ego and its profound influence over our worldview. Imagine the ego as a pair of tinted glasses. They subtly color everything we see, often without our conscious awareness. They affect how we interpret our experiences, how we react to others, and even how we perceive ourselves. Our ego is like an internal narrator interpreting the world for us. It whispers in our ear, telling us what we should do, how we should feel, and who we should be. It's a filter through which we view our reality, and it can be as limiting or as expansive as we allow it to be. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes this internal narrator doesn't have our best interests at heart. It can be a harsh critic, a doubter, a naysayer. It can hold us back with fear, self-doubt, and negative self-talk. It can shape our perceptions based on past experiences, biases, and societal norms, rather than the reality of the present moment. Yet the power of the ego doesn't have to be a negative force. It can also be a catalyst for growth and transformation. When we become aware of our ego's influence, we can start to question its narratives. We can challenge our assumptions, confront our biases, and start to see the world through a clearer lens. As we begin to understand the power of the ego, we can also start to recognize its limitations. We can see where it clouds our judgment, distorts our perceptions, and keeps us from seeing the bigger picture. By acknowledging the ego's influence, we can begin to take steps to regain control of our thoughts and our perceptions. So, as we delve deeper into this topic, let's keep an open mind. Let's question our assumptions, challenge our biases, and strive for a clearer understanding of our world. Because our ego, with its constant stream of thoughts and judgments, can often hijack our reality. From the moment we wake up, our ego is hard at work, narrating our experiences and shaping our beliefs. Indeed, our ego is like a tireless author, constantly penning the story of our lives. It tells us who we are, shaping our identity and self-perception. It whispers in our ear, dictating how we should behave in various situations, what we should strive for, and how we should relate to others. In fact, our ego is like a seasoned director, guiding our every thought, feeling, and action. It's the voice that tells us to stand tall when we're feeling small or to hide when we're feeling vulnerable. It's the voice that convinces us to chase after certain dreams or to shy away from certain challenges. From the choices we make to the emotions we feel, our ego is always there, subtly influencing our decisions. But here's the kicker. Our ego's narratives are not always rooted in reality. They are often based on past experiences, societal expectations, and personal biases. These narratives, while they might feel real, are merely interpretations of our experiences, not absolute truths. Imagine if we could pause these narratives, take a step back, and view our thoughts and feelings from a distance. What if we could see our ego's stories for what they really are, just stories? And what if we could craft new narratives that serve us better, narratives that are aligned with our true selves and our deepest values? This is not a mere thought experiment, it's a possibility, a path to self-discovery and personal growth. By becoming aware of our ego's narratives, we can start to question them. We can challenge the beliefs that limit us and embrace new perspectives that empower us. But what if we were to pause, question these narratives, and see the world with fresh eyes? Imagine the possibilities. The journey is yours to embark upon. The next step is to unmask the ego. By becoming aware of our ego's influence, we can begin to shift our perspective. Becoming cognizant of this influence is like waking up from a deep sleep. Suddenly, we're able to see the puppet strings of our ego, pulling us towards certain thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Self-awareness is the first step towards unmasking the ego. It's about noticing when we're viewing the world through our ego-tinted glasses. It's about recognizing when we're clinging to our beliefs, defending our viewpoints, or passing judgment on others. It's about catching ourselves when we're caught in the trap of comparison or the cycle of craving and aversion. Once we start to notice these patterns, we can begin to question them. Why do we hold on to certain beliefs? Why do we react in certain ways? Why do we judge or compare or crave? By questioning these automatic responses, we start to see that they're not inherent parts of who we are. They're simply habits of thought conditioned by our past experiences and societal norms. This questioning process allows us to challenge the stories we tell ourselves. We can start to see that these stories are not the absolute truth, but rather they're subjective interpretations of our experiences. They're narratives shaped by our ego, and they can be rewritten. And as we rewrite these narratives, we begin to shift our perspective. we start to see that our reality is not the absolute truth, but rather one version of reality shaped by our own biases and beliefs. We realize that there are countless other perspectives out there, each as valid and real as our own. Through this newfound awareness, we can start to see that our reality is not the absolute truth, but rather one version of reality shaped by our own biases and beliefs. We can start to embrace these other perspectives, fostering a sense of empathy and understanding. We can begin to break free from the confines of our ego, stepping into a world of infinite possibilities. When we unmask our ego, we open up a world of possibilities. Stepping beyond the confines of our self-constructed narratives, we find a broader, richer world teeming with diverse perspectives and experiences. This is the transformative power of self-awareness. The ego, with its incessant judgments and biases, often chains us to a narrow viewpoint. It tells us stories about who we are, what we should value, and how we should interact with the world. But when we start to recognize these narratives as mere constructs of the ego, we can begin to challenge them, to question their validity, and ultimately, to rewrite them. Imagine a world where we are not confined by our ego-driven prejudices and biases. A world where we are open to the vast array of human experiences and perspectives. This is not a utopian fantasy, but a tangible reality that we can cultivate through self-awareness and introspection. By recognizing the ego's influence, we foster a sense of curiosity. We become more willing to question our beliefs, to listen to others with an open mind, and to embrace new ideas. This is the foundation of compassion and understanding, and as we expand our horizons, we begin to see the interconnectedness of all beings. We realize that our actions have ripple effects, touching the lives of others in ways we may not even perceive. This awareness can lead us to act with more kindness, empathy, and respect, but remember, this is not a one-time event, but a continual process of growth and evolution. It's about striving each day to be more aware, more open, more compassionate. It's about embracing the journey with all its twists and turns and cherishing the lessons we learn along the way. By expanding our horizons, we can embrace different perspectives and foster a deeper understanding of the world around us. And in doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute to a more inclusive, compassionate, and understanding world. So let's continue this journey of self-discovery, unmasking our ego and expanding our understanding of the world and ourselves. Unmasking our ego is not about eliminating it, but about understanding its influence and choosing to view the world through a broader lens. As we've journeyed through this exploration, we've discovered how our ego, that little voice inside our head, shapes our worldview. It's like a director, constantly orchestrating our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. It creates a narrative, a story of who we are, how we should behave, and what we should believe. But remember, it's not the only storyteller. We can choose to question its perspective, to challenge its assumptions, and to write our own scripts. By recognizing the power of our ego, we've taken the first step towards unmasking its influence. We've started to understand how it tints our perception of reality, often without us even realizing it. But now, aware of these tinted glasses, we can choose to see the world in a different light. Unmasking our ego allows us to see beyond our own biases and beliefs. It opens up a world of possibilities for understanding and connection. We start to see the interconnectedness of all beings, to appreciate the diversity of perspectives, and to cultivate a sense of empathy and compassion. This understanding is not a destination, but a journey, a continuous process of self-discovery and personal growth. It's about expanding our horizons, about learning and unlearning, about listening and understanding. It's about stepping out of our comfort zones, challenging our preconceived notions, and embracing change. So as we conclude this exploration, let's remember the power of self-awareness and the potential for personal growth that comes with unmasking our ego. Let's strive to continue questioning, learning, and growing, to view the world through a broader lens, and to become more compassionate, open-minded beings. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of unmasking the ego and shifting our perspectives on the world. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content.